My guest today is a mogul and a bona fide internet sensation with millions of views on YouTube. Daily thousands tune in to get the good word and to catch all the piping hot tea. He's Q Latham, also known as Funky Dineeva, and this is Jason Unleashed. Q Latham, also known as Funky Dineeva. Welcome to Jason Unleashed. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jason. Thank you for having me. Long overdue.
Long overdue. I'm glad to have you here. I've been a fan of yours for forever, so I'm glad the universe, Oprah, whoever conspired to have this happen. You know, it's Miami boys. We got to stick together.
Yes, we do. We most definitely do.
You are, as I said, a mogul one, but an internet sensation, millions of views, thousands of followers. People daily wake up, go straight to YouTube to hear the gospel as according to Funky Dineeva. We're going to talk about your career, but how did this character appear? Where did Funky Dineeva Ross come from?
So, it's a very, very interesting story. I'm going to condense it. Let's go back, let's say 10, 11 years ago. It was at the height of the Housewives of Atlanta hype.
Sure.
The girls had just come out. They might have been a year, two at max in the game. And so everybody was, especially the gays. So this particular Halloween, some friends and I, we decided we were going to be the Real Housewives of Atlanta for Halloween. So you can already guess what character I was. I'm the unique character, of course. Okay, so that's October. Fast forward to December. I'm cleaning up the basement. It's hot. I'm smelly. I'm sweating. And under the sofa, I find this wig from Halloween. And I put the wig on and I take my iPhone and I'm just like, yes, honey.
Feeling yourself.
My hair is laid, honey. Just feeling it. And I'm shifting it around. I'm like, ooh, look how it's so smooth in the bite. Just, ooh, it's all across my face. And it's funny because for the viewers out there, you guys can actually find this video still on my YouTube page. It's the very first video on my page, and it's called simply My Hair is Laid. So I thought the video was funny, so I decided to send it to one of my friends from college. This particular friend ends up posting the video on Facebook against me knowing, and it literally took off. Now, I was very popular on Facebook because I used to throw parties and stuff. And so it took off and I'm pissed. And I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that? People at my job are going to see this. My family's going to see this. What are people think? Whatever the case may be. But I'm also one of those people who believes in standing in their truth. And at the point in which it was already up for 10 minutes, the chatter and the phone calls had already started. So there was no reason to take it down at that point. You know what I'm saying? So Fast forward, you know what I'm saying? The response was mixed. The women loved it. The guys were like, man, what kind of gay sissy shit is this? Yada, yada, yada.
Of course.
Of course, all that toxic masculinity or whatever. And so I was like, okay, people think this is funny. So then I do a second video. My hair is still laid, where I'm talking about student loan debt and just various issues that we were going through in that age bracket. The devil is trying to get me down today, but I tell you what, my hair is still laid, hunty. Let me tell you, I couldn't even sleep good today. The damn bill collector's calling me first thing in the morning. Here it is, I done took off my job trying to get some things done around here. I began to use the character as a diary. Still was not thinking about this as a job, as a way to make money. Back when I started doing what I'm doing, the word YouTuber didn't even exist. It wasn't a career. It wasn't something that you do. And so I realized this character could say things that Quentin could not say in real life. So when I got frustrated and needed to vent, I would put this wig on and just rant. Still not thinking of nothing of it.
Hold on. But I'm not to interrupt you, but there's such power in that because, as you know, drag queens, a lot of drag artists say, you know what, my alter ego of being in drag has allowed me to be more confident and to release and also heal from things, because it's almost as if you have not a shield, but a comforting blanket that allows you to expose those truths that, as you said, Quentin would never say in his masculine journey through life.
And to your point, no, shield is actually a great word, because if you look at my evolution, I'm now confident enough to tell people this. The first maybe 5 or 6 years of this career, I really was very uncomfortable coming on camera as Quentin Latham, because people respond and have feedback. They're attacking me, the real person. So when I had that wig on and they're attacking Funky Dineeva, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, it didn't bother me because you were attacking this fictitious character that I created. So no, it was a shield to a degree.
Yeah.
But let me wrap this story up. Started getting these emails from YouTube. Didn't even know what they were. It was like, we want to offer you partnership or membership. Our partnership program pays 0.379 penny per every something view. The math was too complicated for me to compute. I ignored the email. About a month later, they sent me another one. I'm bored at work, goofing off. I fill out the email. That particular month, I make like $30. I'm like, gas money. The next month, I make like $89. Long story short, I was poor performing at work because I hated it. I was a corporate accountant. I got sick, called out Monday. Thursday afternoon, called my boss and said, listen, John, I've been out of work for 4 days. I might as well take off Friday, come in Monday, get a fresh start. That man said to me, you know what, Quentin, you've been gone for 4 days. I think this creates a nice natural stopping point. I can tell that you're unhappy. And he basically fired me over the phone.
Yeah.
I hung the phone up, started instantly putting my resume out. Then something said, stop.
Yeah.
You don't like what you're doing. And sending out your resume to get another accounting job is literally you auditioning for misery. You're saying, hey, mister, can you please pay me to come here every day and be miserable?
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, okay, I'm already fired. I already don't have shit. Obama was giving unemployment for 2 years at the time, and unemployment in Atlanta at the time was like $1,400 a month. And I said to myself, God, if I can get the 1,400, and if I can get this YouTube thing to make another 1,500, that's $3,000 a month. I can live off of that. And that was my plan. And within 6 months, I was on VH1 doing 11 Hip Hop Reunion. And then everything else just snowballed into what you see today. But that's the condensed version of how this all happened.
And that condensed version, Q, is so incredible. And people watching this, I hope they're inspired by that, because essentially what you did is, one, you took a step, the universe lined up for you to do this. One, just in the way you found that wig, just in the way you decided to embrace that duality of your nature. Two, by your boss saying it's a wrap. He did you the biggest favor. And three, by you saying, God, if this is for me, not to get all religious or altruistic, but let's go there. If this is for me, show me the right way. And then bam, you hear story after story after story of people who have done just that, have stepped out on faith, and the doors opened copiously by that. So I have chills hearing that story. It's so beautiful. And you mentioned that you weren't always this person, you were a personality, but you were working in corporate America. As you said, you were just going through the motions, and that could have been your life.
I was an accountant. And I would drive to work every day and literally just cry. I would be on Georgia 400 in tears. And the situation is, you feel trapped because there was no other way. I was raised, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a good job, you sit there and you retire.
Sure.
I did what I was supposed to do. I had a good job.
Here we have now Funky Dineeva, millions of views. Thousands of followers in blogs. Really, you're a national Black treasure.
Thank you.
And 10 years now, you've had this career on YouTube, one of the OG YouTube creators, and you have seen and been involved of so many different waves and so many different pockets and hubs and movements in Black pop culture, Black entertainment news, Black celebrity dumb, whatever you want to call it. How has Funky Dineeva evolved since those early days? Because art imitates life, and in life, you are constantly evolving. How has that character evolved? And also, how has Q evolved?
So Dineva has evolved. You know, it took me in the very, very beginning, the first 4 or 5 years, it was all a dream, right? This thing was just fun.
It was all a
And
dream.
it was right. And then it was about year 5 when it was like, okay, you've been doing this for 5 years. This is a business. Like even when I started getting called to do TV, I just thought they were small glimpses of luck. You know, oh, this is not something. Once I really got my head in the game and realized, okay, no, this is a business. This is a brand.
Right.
Then I started treating it as such. And then, you know, over time, as I got more comfortable on camera, got more comfortable being in this public space, and just, you know, people who know me at my core will say Funky Dineeva is nothing but Quentin with the wig on. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to begin to realize Dineva's only going to get you but so far.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? There comes a point where you have to shed the wig, and Quentin Latham is going to get in places that Dineva can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of what people are seeing right now. I still embrace and have fun with the Dineva character, and I would never abandon her because she is the bitch that brought me over. Okay, you never abandon the bridge that brought you over. But the evolution that's taking place now, case in point with me doing Fox Soul and just some of the other things that you guys will see coming in 2021, is me scalping myself, taking off the wig, and now letting Quentin get some of the shine that Dineva has laid the foundation for.
Which is so beautiful because, as I said earlier, that duality is very powerful. Quentin, I watched hours and hours of your content over the last couple of days. And you know, I'm going to throw out Dave Chappelle. And I don't know how you feel about Dave Chappelle. Either we love him or hate him, but there's something to be said about the way he uses his talent, much like yourself, to educate and enlighten and to call to action things in our community. And you have done that with Dineva. How has stripping away Dineva, you giving Quentin to the world and being that authentic, how has that healed you? Because I feel like there's times where you get emotional and you go through your own process in these videos.
You know, it's healed me tremendously because it's allowed me to exist in my authentic self. Therefore, the responses that I get from the people, because, you know, it's a mutual exchange of thoughts, ideas, and energy. The love and the opinions and the input that I get from the crowd is not being directed at a character, but at a real person. And I'm able to absorb it in its truest form. You know, going back to one thing that you said, there is one quote that I live by, and I'm going to toot my own horn here. One thing that I love, one thing that I do love about me is A, I'm smart as shit.
True.
And B, my biggest strength in this whole entertainment space, I feel, is my ability to take high level, complex, either social, emotional, political, entertainment type issues and break them down for the lowest common denominator in a comical way. One of my favorite quotes, and I align my career by this, don't kill me, guys, it's Bill Cosby. But he said, if you can make people laugh, you now have their attention, you can now deliver the message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I do love about the Funky Dineeva character, or me presenting as Q. I always like to make people laugh, but there's always a moral of the story or some sort of message that you're going to get from anything I produce.
You produce a lot, one, and you also are able to go into spaces where this talent that you have shines brightly. Are people surprised when you're on shows like Sister Circle, when you're on at VH1, when you're making the rounds at all these great entertainment outlets? Are they surprised at what you just said, at the amount of depth that you have?
You know, people are most definitely surprised. So you've got different pockets of people, right? You've got that one pocket of people who see this picture in my background and it's not palatable for them. Right. They think it's a dog and pony show. The picture alone is a turnoff. They're not taking the time to click and hear anything I've got to say. And then when they start seeing me present in this way on TV time and time again, they're familiar with the face, but they're so turned off for whatever reason, that's a whole other show. They're so turned off by it that they never give me a chance. Yeah. Then you have the people who actually watch, and they're smart enough to see that there is a very smart person behind the wig. Then you have those same people who never gave me a chance in the wig. They see me present in this manner. And I get the comments all the time. Oh my God, I wish I would have been on the Funky Dineeva train a long time ago. I couldn't get past the wig and stuff. He's really, really smart. He's really, really smart. You know, Jason, I'm well versed enough in human behavior that I don't get offended by it because I just understand the way ignorance works. I understand the way homophobia works. I understand cultural norms, especially in the Black community, the way it works. I get it. So it doesn't bother me. You know, I just realize there's a market for everything, and either I'm for you or I'm not. And if I'm not, go find your entertainment where you need to find it from. But I've got my core group of people who love me. That's who I do this for. They're the champion for, and that's what it is.
You are very well known throughout the Black community, especially with Black celebrities. You cover housewives, you cover things that are very topical. And even though this industry appears to be big, it's very small, and relationships are so important. Are there times, Q, when you go on and you think like, this girl's my friend, this person, we're cool, or not friends, but we have a relationship, so to speak, and I have to drag them, and you're a little trepidatious? Or is it just like, listen, this is the truth, my audience deserves the truth, like to hear it, here it go?
So it's funny, here it go. So it's funny, in the very beginning, right, and speak about the evolution, in the very beginning, I used to crave to be friends with these people, right? Because when you're friends with celebrities, that means, oh shit, you've arrived. Because in real life, you don't have access to these people, right? But then over the years, I got so stuck just in the anxiety of it all. Just like, oh shit, I was just at a happy hour or a dinner party with this particular person. Now they've shown their monkey ass on this TV, and I've got to cut up. Am I going to get the invite to the party they were talking about next week? Then I get the phone calls or the text. I thought we were friends. What is that? That shit's not cool. Or I don't get the invite, or I'm in public and they, run up on me, I don't appreciate what you said, yada, yada, yada. And it used to get to me, right? But here was the turning point. Midway through my career, I began to realize, okay, I am mincing my words, overlooking things, not even covering certain things for the sake of these relationships, but I'm not even getting anything out of these relationships. Like none of the people I've been in a relationship with, they haven't put me on a TV show, they haven't put me on a job, they haven't introduced me to a director or a producer. So I was like, what the fuck am I sitting here being loyal for? What am I doing this for? And then I had to realize, okay, your bread and butter is entertainment reporting. You're going to either be of the entertainment or of the people. You know what I'm saying? And I chose to be of the people because that is what pays me. And so now I have a rule. I don't make friends with people in the entertainment industry anymore. I just don't, especially if they're in the realm of what I'm going to have to cover. And if I do bump elbows with them on more than one occasion, I really don't invest much into it emotionally because I know it's friend today, mad at me tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put much stock in any of these relationships. And from being in the business, 90% of these relationships are superficial as hell anyway.
How do you deal with backlash though? How do you handle backlash? Like what is the defense mechanism that you've erected mentally and emotionally to guard yourself? Because regardless of anything, you're still a human being with feelings and an empath. How do you protect yourself from that?
So I think the biggest thing with time, it was just really fortifying myself in who and what I am and having a firm understanding of my intention. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if I intended to be shady and I get backlash, that hurts. If my intentions were pure and I get backlash, it's simply collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I've learned about being in this business, especially in a position where you're expected to criticize and talk about things. People's attention spans are that of 2-year-olds. I
Right.
always tell people,
Like
if you
that.
do some shit on Monday, it would literally blow over by Wednesday. Close your damn computer down, stay off of Twitter, and wait for Kanye to do something stupid. It will blow your situation out of the water. But the biggest thing, the backlash is honestly, and I tell people this all the time when they're new in the game and they ask me about the negative comments and stuff, you have to know yourself inside and out thoroughly. Therefore, that stuff begins to not bother you. You know, people say things about you, but if you know that's not you, you know, then you keep it pushing. And then lastly, if none of those protective mechanisms work, I always tell people this. You don't even know them damn people, okay? You're around here getting mad by some fat bitch that's working in a cubicle in Montana at the DMV that you do not even know while you're living this blessed, fabulous ass life of leisure. Like, what the hell are you really mad about? I'm here to tell y'all, I'm not finna let no bitch sitting in no cubicle in Boise, Idaho bother me. I don't know you.
Well, Boise, Idaho's my husband's from Boise. Boise's a great place, but you make a really good point. It's just you have to. Those are all very, very, very valuable gems that you just dropped because people forget those things, right? And it's natural. We, for whatever reason, everyone wants to be validated by in some way, shape, or form. Social media has provided instant validation, but also provides instant degradation of your self-esteem, and it's like this double-edged sword. But what you do. And I'm gonna take that because I think that people need to hear that. And by the way, that picture behind you and that wig is the cutest picture ever. It's so adorable. Every time I see it, I just want to smile. You are so creative, and people don't realize that be it if you're a talk show host, producer, whatever, a creator of sorts, that you pull from a creative well, that you need to be inspired and need to have that well replenished. For you, Q, who inspires you? Who has inspired you? And how do you replenish and give back to yourself creatively?
So, you know what? It's not so much of a who, it's more of a what. Music really inspires me. Like, I just think it takes a super divine level of creativity to come up with just a very well written, well done song. I love music that makes me feel. You know, there are a couple people out there that I look up to. Definitely in this space, Wendy Williams is definitely one of the people that I look up to. Chelsea Handler is another person that I look up to in this space. And I pay all homage to Arsenio Hall.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was the Black man in this space, doing it in the nighttime space. And, you know, people don't know this, but I ultimately want to be like Arsenio Hall when it's all said and done. I want to be a nighttime talk show host, as big as he was. Now, as far as how do I replenish, number one, I close the laptop down and log out of social media. That's number one. You know, for people like you and I, social media is not just social, it's me. So it's get away from social media. I have a very active and healthy social life. I love to go out to eat, as everybody knows, and I like to shop. I'm a firm believer of self-care. I've evolved to a place mentally, Jason, where I legitimately just don't do anything I don't want to do.
I love that.
Even if that's an obligatory family Thanksgiving dinner, or if we've got to go to Auntie Sharon's house for her anniversary party. If I don't want to go, I don't go. I take care of me first. So it just whatever I need in the moment. Case in point, this weekend, I took a quick trip to Clearwater just to luxuriate with family. Cheap $70 flight, $100 hotel room. Didn't do anything but sit in the hotel and drink at the hotel bar. But it was a way to replenish my soul. Got back here Monday morning. I'm live and on camera doing this with you and doing what it is I needed to do to make my coin.
There you go. Self-care, the most paramount. Self-care is it. And people have really attached themselves to the notion of self-care. And I'm even myself moving from cross-country COVID, you realize how essential self-care is. With that said, though, there comes a time when beyond the self-care, beyond everything you do to hold it together, becomes also a part of the drudgery of being who you are. Would you ever hang up the wig, walk away and be like, you know what? It's a wrap. It's been a good run.
No. No. And the reason I won't, and I can say this firmly, is because the wig saved my life. Yeah. Like the wig saved me. When I tell you, you know, there was a time I went through a point where like I lost everything. I was evicted. I was in trouble. I was just in a bad place. It was me putting that wig on and doing what I needed to do in that wig that got me out of all of that and got me where I am today. And so earlier in this interview, when I said, you know, I would never abandon the bridge that brought me over. Everything I am right now, leading up to me even being relevant enough to do this interview with you, is because of that wig. So no, for me, that wig is symbolic with what I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. Even when I get the biggest of talk shows, you're gonna see that wig in the background hanging up on a coat rack somewhere, but the wig, I'm never abandoning her.
The future. You late night talk show. You essentially already have your own talk show, but what does a Q Latham / Funky Dineeva late night talk show look like?
Oh, I've already got it mapped out, baby. So the three people that I said I look up to, I want a nighttime talk show that's a cross between the three. One thing I remember vividly as a kid, because my parents were divorced. My dad would get off of work at about 10 o'clock, get to my mom's house at like 10:20, pick me up, take me to his house. By the time I'd get to his house, he said, go to your room, go to bed. Arsenio Hall would be on TV. I would watch Arsenio Hall, and then I always loved the musical act that came on at the very end before he said goodnight. And so a nighttime talk show with me would be a compilation of Chelsea, Wendy, and Arsenio Hall. It would have the satirical and the comedy aspects of Chelsea Handler. It would have the hot topics and gossip of Wendy Williams, and it would have the nighttime musical performances of Arsenio Hall, all meshed in three. That is what the ultimate nighttime talk show for me would look like.
And we have just manifested it right now. It's going to happen, man. I absolutely see that for you. Before I let you go, though, misconceptions. People have many about everyone. People love to have a misconception. What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about Q Latham, and who are you as a man?
So the biggest misconception is that I'm this messy fatty queen. You know what I'm saying? Like that I go around and I indulge in gossip and I'm just messy and you know what I'm saying? And granted, with very limited exposure of us in media and in pop culture and stuff, and you see those caricatures of us in movies and stuff, I totally can get how somebody on the outside looking in, coupled with what I do for a living, could assume that about me as a person, but it could not be the furthest thing from the truth. It couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. I'm probably one of the most like understanding, laid back, easy to get along, non-confrontational, non-messy in my personal life people you will ever meet in your life. And Jay, who I am as a man is someone who feels, someone who not only feels for himself, but feels deeply for others. Who I am as a man is someone who shows up for right, no matter how wrong it may be for others to stand in that, right? Or uncomfortable it may be to stand on the right side of right. Who I am as a man, simply put, is just a fucking decent human being. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not very complex. I'm not, you know, some people get off on being complex and just having all these nuanced layers, and that's so not me. I'm one of the easiest people. I like to eat it. I like to lay in bed. I like to eat out. I like to shop. And I like to have genuine heart connections with genuine people. I am really that damn simple. There's nothing much more to me.